one of the interesting things about the past year is that my writing and my books have gone to places I would long to go in person, but have not yet been able to go to. And I would someday love to visit Richmond, Virginia, my good friends at Fountain Bookstore. So I just want to say that you are blessed to have a great bookstore like Fountain, and a crew like Kelly's crew. They've inspired me a lot as a bookseller. But I'm here as a poet today to talk about my new book, Flavortown, which is just out this Tuesday from Harpoon Books out of Columbus, Ohio. So I'm going to read some poems from it, a couple of new poems, and hopefully we'll have some fun. Flavortown is organized around a sequence of poems Flavortown, the phrase, the idea was originated by Guy Fieri, the famous TV food host. It's just something he says on his show a lot, and I wrote a sequence of speculative poems that imagines Flavortown as a real place. So I'll read some of those, and then the book juxtaposes that sequence of poems with poems that are set in the actual real Midwest. And in setting Flavortown against the real Midwest, I'm hoping to attain some sort of grasp of what it means to be a man, a father, and an eater in America today. So that's what Flavortown is going for. It's much more fun to hear the poems themselves than it is to hear me talk about it. So I'm going to start, and we'll start with some of that Flavortown sequence. This poem is called "Where Exactly Is Flavortown, USA?" Every line in this poem is something that Guy Fieri has said on TV. For research help with this poem, I used the website called shitguyfierisays.tumblr.com. So this is "Where Exactly Is Flavortown, USA?" Like a manhole cover in Flavortown, like a speed bump in Flavortown, like a hot dog lasso on the ranch in Flavortown, like a giant Play-Doh machine in Flavortown, like a blackjack dealer at the Flavortown casino, like a hot tub in Flavortown. I want to be the mayor of Flavortown, a conductor on the train going to Flavortown, the driver on the bus going to Flavortown. A big hamburger might be the steering wheel on the bus that's going to Flavortown. That's in the tank that fuels the bus that's going to Flavortown. Hitting the road in search of Flavortown has been quite a trip. 4 or 5 bites into this, and I'm pulling into the depot of Flavortown. You can find that dictionary in the Flavortown library. What would be the airline of Flavortown? Sausage Airlines? The first discovered culinary cave of Flavortown. A lightning bolt of an idea in Flavortown. Mining for food in Flavortown River. I feel like I'm going to have surgery here at Flavortown Memorial. I'm a citizen of Flavortown, a city council member of Flavortown. Of course, there's no Flavortown, unless you believe in it. The Flavortown citizenship test with one trick question. What is the difference between a diner, a drive-in, and a dive? How much bacon is appropriate to put on a burger? Name 3 foods that require a stick when deep fried. On a 4th down, in a game his team would ultimately win, Eagles backup quarterback Nick Foles becomes the first quarterback to make a touchdown reception in Super Bowl history. As you watch, do you dip your wings in ranch or blue cheese? What is the difference between comfort food and home cooking? Write out the lyrics to Cheeseburger in Paradise, the Flavortown national anthem. What does it mean when a server calls you sweetie? What does it mean when a server calls you hun? Which crime carries the longest sentence? A, boiling ribs. B, charging for chips and salsa. C, making your own ketchup in-house. Or D, brunch. Name 3 dishes that do not benefit from the addition of pulled pork. That was the trick question. I see some answers in the chat to the quiz questions. Thank you for that. Boiling ribs does carry a serious sentence in Flavortown. Here's an off night in Flavortown. It comes with an epigraph from the man himself, Guy Fieri, who says, "Don't waste your time on a frozen pizza." Man, I don't feel like going out tonight, but we can't eat cereal for dinner. We can't eat plain old grilled cheese for dinner. We can't eat leftovers for dinner. We can't eat bologna sandwiches for dinner. We can't eat scrambled eggs for dinner. We can't eat whatever's in the fridge for dinner. We can't eat Ortega powder tacos for dinner since they outlawed that stuff. Same goes for Stouffer's frozen French bread pizza. We certainly can't eat salads for dinner. This mole won't be ready until Tuesday, and the brisket needs 12 more hours in the smoker. Why don't I just run to the gas station and get some prime rib to go? It strikes me that poem hits a little different after a year of dining at home. All of this stuff was written before eating in restaurants became a luxury out of reach for myself. A child's first words in Flavortown. As soon as he got teeth, I knew it was time to give him a Nashville hot chicken sandwich. He took one bite, smiled, and looked directly at me. He said, I swear to God, whoa, that's off the hook. And reader, it was. Okay, and then let's do one or two more Flavortown poems, and then we'll go to the real Midwest. Rivalry night in Flavortown. The Flavortown guys versus the dreaded Cheddar Bay Biscuits. Our men look great. They take a 6-point lead into halftime. Beneath the bleachers, Flavortown girls sit in Flavortown laps and part their lips as Flavortown boys feed them chili dogs. They are each other's napkins. Now that I've made it to Flavortown, I just want to go home. Everything here is too spicy. I'm tired of making a statement every time I pick a restaurant. There are no trophies for most likes on a picture of ribs. I miss going to whichever drive-through is on my way home. I miss my uncle's burgers, so over-grilled they turn into domes. I miss sitting around a table and thinking only about the friends across from me instead of who can say authentic first. When everyone at the table has to go full Meg Ryan after every bite, how can you even talk about anything? Take me back to where a sandwich is free to just be a sandwich. All right. Now, so as I said in the kind of intro, the Flavortown sequence is juxtaposed against some dispatches from the real life Midwest. Much of this book was written as I came to terms with being a father. I had my first child. My son was born during the process of writing this book. So that's, I don't know if you can hear him. He's yelling outside the door right now. So a lot of these poems that are the realistic poems are kind of centered around the becoming a new dad. And so that's what this one is. Where this one comes from. This is the American Kid West. Grass swaddles the plains like a swaddle. Our national anthem is something off a children's album from the library that puts babies to sleep instantly, but only at extreme volume. We eat at chain restaurants because they have parking and car seat slings and enough room to put them next to the table. When our children begin eating solid food, there will be something on those menus for them to eat. Perhaps an illustrated cup to take home. Our currency is snacks, stuffed into diaper bags alongside accessories and ephemera, changing pads, thermometers, extra keys, outfits, that gift certificate we lost months ago. We strap mirrors to headrests. We are known for our competence and our freezers and our tired faces. Our grocery stores are giant and have parking spaces for expectant and new mothers. The carts warn us not to mount our car seats onto the handles, but we do anyway. We know balance, and we'd catch our children if they ever fell. They don't. Let's stay with grocery stores here. So one of my favorite things about the Midwest is whenever you're in a place that has multiple locations of a single chain, like a town with 2 Walmarts always has a good Walmart and a bad Walmart. And everybody agrees on which is which. And so here in Lawrence, Kansas, we have 4 Dillon's grocery stores. And Dillon's is just what they call Kroger's in Kansas. They're Kroger's with a different name. And everybody agrees that there's a dirty Dillon's, a fancy Dillon's, a regular Dillon's, and a dapper Dillon's. And these are commonly accepted as the nicknames. So I was so inspired by this. And I saw a tweet. My friend Chance tweeted, "Dirty Dillon's is a phenomenon and a concept. Every town with multiple Dillon's has one. Inevitably, they are the best for reasons that are hard to articulate." And so I kind of took this concept and I looked up. There are 65 Dillons in the state of Kansas, and so I just assigned a nickname to all of them. And that's what this poem is: a nickname for every Dillon's in Kansas, starting with the 4 in Lawrence. Dirty Dillon's, fancy Dillon's, regular Dillon's, dapper Dillon's. Diaper Dylans, Dino Dylans, Druggy Dylans, Silly Dylans, Sci-Fi Dylans, Sexy Dylans, Grocery Dylans, Disco Dylans, T-Shirt Dylans, Jesus Dylans, Saucy Dylans, Bougie Dylans, Dixie Dylans, Tiki Dylans, TV Dylans, Chunky Dylans, Super Chunky Dylans, Baby Dylans, Bad Dylans, Rabbit Dylans, Murder Dylans, New Dylans, Far Dylans, the Dylans where nobody gives a shit, Oprah Dylans, Fruit Fly Dylans, Starbucks Dylans, Redneck Dylans, Soul Patch Dylans, Pothole Dylans, Democrat Dylans, Walmart Dylans, Empty Dylans, Turnpike Dylans, Impulse Dylans, Dimple Dylans, Viper Dylans, Biker Dylans, Busy Dylans, Best Dylans, First Dylans, Thirsty Dylans, Turkey Dylans, Sketchy Dylans, All Night Dylans, Donut Dylans, Country Dylans, Spring Break Dylans, Fake Dylans, Road Rage Dylans, Dairy Dylans, Scary Dylans, Mr. Dylans, Taco Dylans, Bizarro Dylans, Indoor Dylans, Mini Dylans, USA Dylans, Kroger Dylans, Dylans. I should note that I haven't been to most of those places, but I assigned them nicknames regardless. Okay, and then there's another sequence. This is just one more from Flavortown. I've been warned that this is a hard stop. So I want to make sure to get to this and maybe a couple new ones if we have time. Michael, the Dylans on Mass is Dapper Dylans because it has since been renovated. The Dylans, Dirty Dylans is at 6th and Lawrence. But the pre-renovation, I imagine that Mass Dylans might have been the Dirty Dylans. And it's the shifts. That's another fascinating thing about this is it's kind of slippery in which Dylans is which. All right. There's a sequence of Christmas poems in here that are just inspired by chain restaurants in the Midwest in Christmas time, all of which are kind of muses to me. So it's a Waffle House Christmas. The hotel closest to grandma's, closest to affordable, doesn't have breakfast, but it does share a parking lot with the Waffle House. So Christmas morning, over the curbs and through the gas station hedge, to Waffle's house we go. As soon as the door chimes, we feel it. Tiny Tim doesn't show us to our table, but he might as well. All the seats are full except for ours, and the waitress is in a good mood. The cook isn't on a 45-minute smoke break, and all our food comes out hot and at once, and people are laughing and cheerful, but they're not singing or anything, thank God. And the whole place feels, what's the word, clean? It's a Christmas miracle, a Waffle House that looks the way Waffle House looks like in your sepia memories. It's enough to make me want to stand on a table, spread my arms, and yell, God bless us, every scattered, smothered, and covered one of us. I suppose that's a little Southern and Midwestern as well, but that's okay. We're here in Richmond, at least virtually. Okay, I'm just going to read a couple new ones. These are 2 new ones. Thanks so much for being here. These are one short one and one sonnet. So I guess technically 2 short ones. These are from a manuscript in progress called Picture Window. Flavortown is the 3rd in a trilogy of really kind of restless, outward-looking poetry collections that wrestle with the world in the Midwest. And, partly by necessity over the last year, I've had to narrow my focus as a poet and think about forming a home and forming a family and what it means to be a dad and not leave really much. And the act of creating a home has been really inspiring to me. And so that's been the inspiration and it's not just inspiring in like a heartwarming way, but also in a deeply absurd and weird way. Like being inside with a toddler for long stretches of hours gets very, very weird. And so these are just 2 poems from Picture Window. Again, thank you for being here. I'm so honored and thrilled. This is called Sunday Morning. A squeaky tennis ball for dogs appears in the bathroom. I have never seen it. We don't have a dog. All right, and then this is a sonnet waving goodbye after Deanna Dykman. Deanna Dykman is, well, I don't think I have time to explain it, but you should look up her work, Dikeman. A sonnet waving goodbye. That I no longer know who sleeps in my childhood bedroom. That I didn't know my last time in that house was my last time in that house. That the word home has different homes depending on where I am or who I'm talking to. That someone could be looking back at me through the window. That someday I'll leave, turning to wave. I'll see no parents, just a garage door. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the festival. This was really fun. I appreciate it. Support Fountain Bookstore, and thanks so much. Bye.